Hi everyone, welcome to the cow painting video. I hope you have your instructional brochure out and hopefully you have already set up 1 and 2. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with 3. I'm mixing a light blue using probably equal parts blue and white, maybe 60-40 with more white to get a nice blue color. And I'm going to begin outlining the cow's head. I'm going to the top right corner and I am just arcing around, kind of blocking out where I want it to come up to, down to, etc. And I am just outlining a shape that I think looks like a cow's head. I've put a second line at the bottom too for the snout part. Is that what it's called? A snout? I'm not sure what that's called. Once I am happy with my head shape, I take some blue and am making his ears. This little calf is kind of charming because of his big floppy ears. And it's okay if they run off the edge. That's no big deal. Once you have the ears, they're kind of irregular. I'm going to, where the ear pretty much meets the face, I'm drawing a line out and then turning downward to make his front half of his body, his torso. And this one is a level 3 because of how difficult this drawing part is. So really take your time, try to be loose and playful with your line work. And I took his left, my right leg all the way down to the bottom. And now I am going back and putting in the other half of his torso and his right leg. And I don't want his legs to be perfectly lined up. You want him to have more of a casual, like as if all of his weight is on his right leg. So I am just making that one more straightforward, starting about where the eye might be and taking a line pretty much all the way down. From that line, I am also just going to pull backwards to make his tush. And then moving up maybe 1/2 inch, maybe less than 1/2 inch, to make his hind legs, because his hind legs would be further up on the picture plane than his front legs would be. And imagining his kind of belly coming down here. And don't be afraid if you mess up something. This is the very early stage. If you don't like where you place something, go ahead and paint it where you do want it, because this blue line, you're pretty much going to be painting all over it anyways, so you're not going to see if there were some, ghost images of what things that you did that you didn't like. They're all going to be painted over, so really get the outline that you want, and then we can move forward. I am now just putting in a line for what would be the ground, and I'm mixing a lot of the blue color, and I'm just going to paint pretty much all around the cow this light blue color. Now this is what we call underpainting. Is a way of creating depth by layering colors. So although we are painting it blue, obviously the final product is not blue. So this is also a kind of more playful stage. And you can see I added a little bit of pink to make a little purpley color at the top. I'm now taking pink and yellow and making a nice bright orange. That hot pink makes a bright orange. And I'm going to be just putting these in little spots around his body. Cows have different patches of color. Each cow is different, so this is pretty loose. You can put them wherever you want. First I'm going to be painting the floor. I'm taking this orange color that I made and adding it to the floor as well. And now I'm taking a little bit more of it and adding it to the body. And this is super fun part because you can kind of give him his own little character, or her. Give her some character. This could very well be a she cow. And I'm just putting them kind of around his body, or her body. Making sure that I do put a bunch of orange on the top of his back, though, as if the sun was hitting his back. That's going to help with that illusion of his back being sun side. And now I mix just a little bit of more of the pink in with the orange, make more of a pinky color, and I'm adding that. So really these next few steps, I'm just mixing new colors, making different shades. This is a more pinky, white, purpley color. And I'm going to take that purple, always making sure to keep them relatively light. You don't want a big blue spot necessarily because your eye will be drawn right to it. So keeping the colors light, just putting them around. And if you make a color you don't like, you can always paint over it. In fact, I think I paint over some things in this video even. So as you can see, there's really no rhyme or reason. I am just adding colors all over. Now that I have my bright colors, I do want to add some darker hues, like some grays maybe, or really they're truly just more muted blues to his body. So I am mixing some grays and I am applying them all over. I am mixing different colors of grays too, some light and some dark, and applying them. And I'm taking care to make warm grays and cool grays. And here I'm mixing some green, but then I decide, I didn't really want green. So even the pros do it. Don't worry if you put a color on there and you decide you don't like it. You aren't stuck to it. You can always mix another one and paint over it. And I'm just going to continue to add colors. Pinks of varying color, oranges, and now I am just mixing some hot pink and adding it to different parts of his body. I'm trying to fill in, but artfully fill in, and spacing out every color so that there is not just one area that's more pink than another or one area that's more orange, but it's all over, pretty evenly spread. I'm just adding some of that pink to his face. And I went back for some dark gray and added it to his torso, and then broke it up with a little bit of light gray. So now I am taking some black, some pure black, and just adding it to little spots around his body. Just enough for a little pop. And I am taking just a little bit of purple and adding it as well. Now I'm taking some of my pure black and adding it to his face. I want to add darkness to his ears, taking care to artfully outline. And what I mean by artfully outline is that I'm not simply outlining the entire thing, and I'm using different line thicknesses by pressing lighter, softer, kind of lightly dragging across so that it is not just one straight line, but is rather kind of a playful, more bumpy line that makes it look more painterly and less like a cartoon. When you outline something in black, you are always in danger of it looking like a cartoon. So I do have some blue that I am outlining his legs, just the blue like how it comes, and I am mixing it with just a little bit of black and putting it on his legs to give them just a little bit more definition. And now I am taking some black and I am making two little areas so that it looks like two nostrils. Taking care not to make just two blobs of black paint, but make them irregularly shaped. And then I am going in and adding in the eyes, where I think the eyes should be. And I'm making them just kind of semicircles that follow the head shape. And then I decided that there needed to be a little bit more hot pink. You can never have enough hot pink, so I'm adding some pink to his body. And I'm getting some of my black and adding it underneath his feet, just to kind of have that point where it connects to the ground, have that weight there. And taking that black and putting it on the ears. So I'm taking care to make it very dark where the ear connects to the head on that, it's our left, his right side, because that gives it a lot of depth there. And then I'm just putting a little bit of black to outline the front of his body so that you know for sure it's foreshortened. And just continuing to add layers, continuing to add color. If you see a block of something, like there's a lot of orange that's unbroken, just go ahead and add another color to break it up so that it looks like there's more variation. The more variation, the more colors there are, the better it winds up looking in the end. And then I'm going to take some pure white and just go over the orange on the bottom. So what this does, I'm leaving what I like to call a halo of orange. It just is some orange all the way around. And the white, you're covering up most of the orange with playful, thick brush strokes, but leaving just enough. And you're going to do the same thing with the blue background. I mix a light pink color, maybe 3 parts white, 1 part pink, maybe a little darker, maybe more like 2/3 white, 1/3 pink. And I'm adding it, taking care to leave a blue outline around the cow and some blue at the bottom too, and just kind of artfully painting that in. This creates depth, and you want to be able to see that underpainting. Otherwise, what was the point of painting it blue, right? You want to see that underpainting. It's a very modern thing to do, to have colors layered like that. And now I'm just adding finishing touches. I'm taking some white, putting it on the eyeballs, making sure that I am putting them kind of even so that it looks like his eyes are on the same place on both sides of his head. And I'm putting a little around his snout. And just really anywhere I felt like needed a little popping. So I thought his legs could use a little popping. And where his body is turned could use a little popping. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed painting this. See you next time.